Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. You have to excuse the fans, but it's quite a warm day today. Just thought we'd have a quick look at the new look grow room. As I said, I ordered some black pots, and the idea is to get pots inside black pots, keep that algae out basically. And certainly this time of year, when the light's at its brightest, this is when they're going to do their job. And the downside is obviously that restricts a bit of airflow around the pots, but the bottom of the pot was always stood in a tray anyway to stop the drips going on other plants, so it's not too much of a big deal. And this time of year it's less of a big deal because the fans are on most of the time, the airflow is good and the temperatures are up. Yeah. But the other thing I thought about was some of the pots didn't get done because I ran out of the small size that I ordered. I didn't appreciate how many small pots I've got. Consequences of putting oncidiums in the smallest pot possible when I repotted them. So I will get some more of those. The two other sizes I got are sort of okay. I've still got some spares. But the other thing I wanted to do was have a quick look round the Dendrobiums in bloom, because some of them aren't going to be around too much longer, I don't think. The fleckery up here, I suspect with the movement that won't focus. That's looking nice. That'll be silhouetted as well, I expect, so that won't be the best shot, but that's looking nice. It's not actually reached its darkest colour yet. It will go a bit darker than that, having opened almost white. The little moniliform, I thought if I look at the back of the blooms you might actually see the pink tinges better, but they do have pink tinges. The lot of Jessii is opening up now. Quite a few of the blooms have opened up nicely, so that's looking nice. It's just another one of those. They don't last long. Most of the Dendrobiums don't last long. They only bloom once a year. The actual moniliform can bloom more than once, but yeah, so that's that. The aphyllum has already dropped its buds down the lower end of the cane, so these are going to go soon. They won't last too much longer, fluttering in the wind. The Kaneko has still got buds coming, so that's still going to be in bloom for a while. What I do like about this is this colour. This pale colour, as opposed to the darker colour, on the same plant, believe it or not, this is a lot closer to the Victoria Regina, which is one of the parents. It's still not the true colour of that particular orchid though. You have to get the real thing and you have to see it for real. They just don't come out right in photos. The big bush, Hancockii, quite a few of the blooms are starting to fade now, and there's very few more buds to come. There's the odd one lurking around, and there are some that have recently opened that will last a while. But some of the ones round the back you can see are starting to fade now, so that's going to go soon. The only Phalaenopsis type that's in bloom, that just seems to be hanging in there for ages. I'm pleased with that. That's lasting really well this year. Didn't last that long last time it bloomed, so that's looking good. What else are we doing? We're just doing Dendrobiums at the moment. These two I've put, you can see this one's already starting to go. These are probably these two are my shortest lived Dendrobiums. 14 days max, usually at 10 to 12. They really don't last long at all. But they look good while they're out, and they make up for it in the sheer number of blooms. Although this one's got a registered name, they are effectively the cross, Griffithianum crossed with Farmeri, and one's the other way round. And last time this one bloomed, it had pink tinges on it, and this time it's come out virtually pure white. Very strange. So they almost look identical. So that defeated the object of playing the guessing game as to what the difference would be. Well, they were different last time. Right, where are we now? The Nestor's looking good. The depth of colour on this is just stunning. And the fragrance, whoa! But tucked in behind it, the Anosmum's just starting to open as well. So the Anosmum is one of the parents of Nestor, and these are just opening up now. Now you can see where Nestor gets its depth of colour, but Anosmum itself is quite variable, because some of the blooms on Anosmum come out almost white, with a paler throat in the lip, whereas mine is quite a lilac-y colour, which I'm pleased about. Quite honestly, if I had to choose, there's a fogger up my trouser leg. If I had to choose between the two, I would still go for Nesta and dump the species. But why would I have to choose between the two? I've got them both and I'm keeping them. Whoops. Knock stuff over, why don't you? The Jenkinsii is starting to go. So the last blooms will probably be these few round here that opened last. Those that are still in their full glory look good, but it is starting to fade. They don't last that long. And the Findlayanum, these are lasting quite well. I'm quite pleased with these. I don't remember these lasting well last time, but they're looking nice. And what else have we got? The only other Dendrobium out is this Chrysotoxum. And as I was watering the plants this morning, it fell over towards me, towards the edge of the shelf, and overbalanced. So it was heading for the floor, blooms first, and I just managed to grab it by a cane, single cane. I just managed to catch it. So it was upside down. I lost a bit of bark out of the pot, but it didn't land on the floor. That was the good bit. I lost a couple of parts of blooms. I didn't lose any whole blooms, but a few of the blooms now look like that. They've lost their lip. About 3 of them. So I got away with that quite lightly. That could have been quite disastrous. Yeah, so those are the Dendrobiums that are actually out at the moment, and some are just coming, and you know, some are on their way. That is the nature of them. Obviously with the Nobiles, I forgot, talking of Nobiles, I forgot the Prima Donna. That's tucked in the back there. There's only a few blooms left on that now. But it's still in bloom. That's been in bloom absolutely ages. One of the first to come out. I think Spring Dreamer Pollen was out before this one. Yeah, so whoops, and I forgot these on this table. I always think I've finished. The little Cuthbertsonii, sorry. I just can't remember how long that single bloom's been out, but it's been out an absolute age, and it's going to take time, but you know, one day this will be a nice little mound and perhaps have half a dozen blooms on at the same time. It should look quite stunning, but very attractive bloom, lovely orange colour with this sort of deep, well, you'd have to call it red I suppose, but it's such a deep red it's almost black. And then the Frosty Dawn, that arrived with that bloom. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I can't lay claim to that. It was bought with that single bloom on. That's been repotted now. And the other one, that fogger is so powerful. Literally, if I stand in front of it for 10 seconds, my jeans are actually wet. But this was the lovely Virgin Variety Angel that put up 2 little blooms. I really ought to take those off. But we do have some new root growth coming, so it is going to push a new shoot out soon. So they can stay just for a bit, but it's lost its colour in the lip. The lip was a better yellow than that. I know that's upside down, that just happens to be how it opened. But yeah, the lip had a better colour in that once upon a time, but it's faded. And what I am looking forward to down here is a little cluster of buds. And I believe there's 4. Looks like 4 to me, and that is Infundibulum crossed with Lowii, and that's going to be good. So that's something to look forward to. Blooms are massive, so larger than Frosty Dawn, yeah, and a flatter sort of bloom. If I think about it and I get time, I'll put a pop up. But one of my largest Dendrobium blooms. And looks very much like a Cattleya in its overall appearance. It's obviously a Dendrobium, but yeah, so that's the new look. As I said, it's not totally finished yet because I ran out of a certain size of pots, which I still need some more of, and I only dealt with my normal pots today, so the cooler, shadier ones in here haven't been watered today, so I haven't attempted to put black pots on those yet. I mean, some of those are open baskets. They need to stay like that, so they won't get anything different. But, you know, things like my Miltoniopsis, you know, there's 2 of those need repotting to get the algae out, clean them up, nice fresh media, don't let it get stale, and then they can have their black pots. But I'm reluctant to put a black pot on a pot that's got algae in it already, because if you do that, the algae can die off. And algae in the pot's bad enough. Dead algae is not funny, because it'll rot and it'll turn sour and it won't do anything any good at all, and it'll take the media down quicker than anything. So dead algae is not good. So if you ever get algae and you get some chemical treatment to kill it off, you'll need to repot, because dead algae it's a rotting process, a decay. That's not ideal anywhere near your roots. So take care if you go down that path. My idea is to repot and put the black pots around the outside and stop the algae coming back. That's my theory. We'll see if it works. There's no reason why it shouldn't work, quite honestly. Anyway, a few more to do, and I've got some more pots that I'll need to order, because I've run out of one size and I'm getting low on one of the others. So I'll order some more in. They're very cheap, you know, straight off eBay. Discount for buying in bulk, 10. Not my idea of bulk, but yeah, so, you know, a little discount as well. It all helps. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I put a bonsai video up. It's pretty obvious to me on an orchid channel, a bonsai video is not going to get looked at or appreciated anywhere near as much as the orchids. But nonetheless, when I set this channel up, it was always going to be Roger's Orchids Plus. Yeah, and the plus was my other things, like my day trips out looking for our native orchids, my sort of butterfly walks and things like that, nature-y type walks, and my bonsai. That was the plus bit. Obviously the orchids is the main bit, that won't change. But my bonsai only get looked at a couple of times a year, so to throw an odd video of those in now and again, some people, you know, are quite interested and perhaps have some themselves. But it's not my main thing, obviously. That's always going to be the orchids. So see you next time, and thanks for dropping by. And quite honestly, the new look is quite unobtrusive. I was expecting, once I'd, you know, done a couple of shelves, I thought, actually it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to look ugly with black pots everywhere, but, you know, I'm sure in a week or two I'll have forgotten what it looked like before. So yeah, and it's got a job to do. That's the important thing. These black pots are doing a function that's important. So gotta be. That's how it's got to be. And I've probably got about a dozen more pots to do. The ones I flipping can't do are those flat wide ones. Is there one I can show you? Not really, no. But look, that Restrepia at the back there, that's in a flat wide pot. I didn't have any black pots anywhere near big enough to get that in, so I will have to get half a dozen or so of the much larger size to just accommodate those types of pots. They need doing just as much as the little ones, so we'll go with that. And I'll have to stop kicking that tray around when I'm filming. I keep treading on the edge of it, and it flips up. It sort of does a party trick. It makes a load of racket, but it's off at the moment because I've just in the middle of doing my Vandas, got one more to do, and then I'm done for the day. So see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.